If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Yo, this man, Cordae, never ceases to impress me. First, earlier on this year, he came through with this EP, Just Until, which featured 4 brand new songs that, kind of served as the bridge in between him still working on his new record From a Bird's Eye View. On there, he also announces his new album From a Bird's Eye View, and y'all know that I really loved this EP back when it dropped. I know a lot of people didn't like it as much, but I absolutely loved it. It showed his growth as an artist. It showed that he was still in the process of evolving artistically, and that's what I always liked about Cordae. Since then, he has hopped on a lot of different stuff. He's hopped, for example, on the Killer remix that Eminem did for his track with Jack Harlow as well. He was on that Life is Like a Dice Game re-release from that old Nas song that Freddie Gibbs was also on, and absolutely killed it. He released a new track called Super, which I also really loved. It's not like the typical stuff that rappers talk about nowadays. It was actually on some, as I just said, personal growth and just, improving yourself type of stuff. And then he also dropped his latest single, Sinister, with Lil Wayne. Again, amazing track. On there, he talks, for example, about going 8 months without a phone and stuff like that. It's just not what you hear these rappers talk about nowadays. And for, to have someone that does it like this and that does it at a commercially pretty successful level like Cordae, I think is truly beautiful. That's kind of like where, J. Cole's spot is as well. And I do want to compare the two quite a bit in this video, so y'all probably going to see that reference quite a bit. Well, one thing that he also did was drop a documentary as an episode 1 for his Bird's Eye View, documentary series or whatever he decides to do with it. So this is probably going to be like a little video series accompanying the album. In this first episode, we did not get a release date for the record yet. He just said it's coming soon. I'm still guessing this year. I'm guessing, it's not going to be December 10th necessarily, but then the 17th or the 24th is probably what he's, gonna do with it. Well, in this documentary, we can kind of see him, a sneak peek into his day-to-day life. He traveled to Egypt, for example, and says that he had to go out and live just to get experience for this new record. And in that, you just get the general feeling like this man is actually someone who wants to improve as a person and wants to make better and better music, and that's just something that I really respect. And this documentary reminded me a lot of like what J. Cole did back when For Your Eyes Only dropped, or also what J. Cole did before the off-season dropped. So again, this comparison right here, even though y'all probably know the two of them have some history going back, because Cordae was the one responding to the 1985 diss track to the New Generation that J. Cole had on KOD. So, the two have kind of bashed in the past, but I think that there's some mutual respect between the two. And obviously, since I'm talking about Cordae and the stuff that he's done in the recent past so positively, y'all can probably guess that I'm really excited to hear what this new album has to feature. From the songs that we got so far, so from Super and Sinister, it's like I'm just waiting for this thing. This is one of my most personally anticipated albums to still drop this year. Y'all know we got the Juice WRLD album coming and all stuff like that. That's all good stuff. But what I'm really interested to hear is this new Cordae album, because I feel like we're gonna, hear something on there that is just gonna help us as, a community, as hip hop, and as people ourselves. I feel like on this new track, Sinister, he rhymes like my flow sinister. This ain't rap, this literature. So again, this approach to not just making music for the sake of getting out there, getting a bag, and then becoming, famous through it, doing it for the clout, but rather, and this is something he also talks about in that documentary that he dropped, where he talks about what would you rather be, the guy that has a hit or the guy that's actually a cultural juggernaut. And I think that was a pretty cool thing that he talked about as well. And when you see him talk about stuff like this, you realize that that is where he wants his spot to be. He wants to be in that J. Cole spot as like, the big bro that's looking over all the other ones in the younger generation and being like, yo, y'all should, go get a house, go get some real estate before you get that chain, and just giving out game like that. Like, you know, we had people like J. Cole do in the past, and that's why I do feel like there's a big link between the two. And it's not like Cordae has ever been that naive, dumb young rapper. I mean, when you look at The Lost Boy, his first debut studio album that he dropped back in 2019, a lot of people already, you know, praised it critically, and it got a lot of acclaim, and it cemented his spot in hip-hop as one of the, not necessarily hottest young people coming up, but one of the ones that's going to have the most impact and the longest career. Fun fact, he also talks about having a minimum of 20 years as his career on this new track, Sinister. Again, you know, referencing that long-term approach rather than, you know, to just having some hits. Also, the fact that he got, you know, Tunchi on here, Lil Wayne on here is incredible. I do like that Lil Wayne is out here giving verses out to these young guys as well, and not just to people like Rich the Kid for their, you know, Trust Fund Babies tape that they did, which was not really good, you know, when that dropped. But also that he, you know, got on a track with Eminem, and I feel like he just gets all this respect in hip-hop, and I do feel like that is deserved. And people like this are more likely to get that level of respect and just acknowledgement and even long-term professional relationships when they are in a position like Cordae, where it's not just some dumbed down rap stuff. So, you know, we always talk about the young artists that are leading this generation. We usually talk about people like Polo G, Lil Baby, for example, as well, and then Roddy Ricch, but I do feel like Cordae is definitely up in that conversation as well now, after having dropped this new track, this new documentary, what we can expect from this new album from a bird's eye view. He also talks about what the title means. He said in that documentary that he talks from other people's perspective, that he tries to go out of his own body and put himself into the positions of other people and then judge situations from there and rap from their point of view, which is definitely like, you know, some next level hip-hop stuff, something like J. Cole would do. That's why I always compare the two, but that just has me even more excited for this new album coming up. As I said, not sure when we're going to get this, probably still this year, because in that latest documentary episode, it said coming soon, so I'm guessing the 17th to the 24th or the 31st could also be, but until then, I'm just hyped, man. I'm just waiting for this new album. The singles we got, Super especially, but also Sinister, are amazing, and I feel like the best is yet to come on this actual new record. So that's my opinion on this, on Cordae, his place in hip-hop, his new album coming up, the stuff that he's done in the recent past, but of course now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for From a Bird's Eye View? Have you been keeping up with Cordae? Have y'all listened to his latest tracks? And did you watch that documentary episode? And what did you think about it? Do you see those parallels between him and J. Cole like I do? Or where do you think he places in hip-hop? All of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.